Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at this 2017 Ford F-150 Platinum. So this specific Ford F-150 is the Platinum trim, like I just said, so I'm definitely looking forward to driving it because it is actually a higher level trim, and it is obviously newer. It is a 2017, so I'm sure that it drives great and is really smooth. That being said, I did just want to start off by naming some of the factory measurements, the factory body measurements. So this 2017 Ford F-150 has a length of 231.9 inches, a width of 79.9 inches, a height of 76.9 inches, and a wheelbase of 145 inches even. This 2017 F-150 actually also has a curb weight just over 4,700 pounds, right at 4,729 pounds. It also has a maximum towing capacity at 11,500 pounds. And a maximum payload capacity at 1,570 pounds. So I did just want to highlight the two specs that I just mentioned, the maximum towing capacity and the maximum payload capacities. So they are two very important specs when talking about trucks specifically, because more likely than not, if you have a pickup truck, you're going to be putting things in the cab and you're probably going to be towing things. So that being said, I do think that the 11,500 pounds that this truck can actually tow, I think that is pretty impressive. Again, I'm not too much of an expert with trucks, but still, I mean, I think that's more than enough for daily use. So moving on, I did just kind of want to briefly touch upon the suspension. Now, the suspension on this truck is not anything special. It just has the independent suspension in the front and a live rear axle in the back. This specific truck actually has the 9.75 inch Ford axle in the back. It's just a regular, live axle, nothing special. And it just has McPherson style struts all around. So one thing that I definitely did want to touch upon is the wheel setup that this owner actually does have on this truck. This is actually, I'm pretty sure, the only aftermarket thing on this vehicle. And they are basically 22-inch 4-play wheels. I really like the design of it. I think it definitely looks, good with the truck. Kind of like the whole black and chrome theme that the owner's going for. So I definitely do like the black wheels with this truck, and they actually are wrapped in Toyo tires that are 285s by 45s by 22s. All right, guys. So now I have the hood popped on this F-150, and first thing you can see is the 3.5 liter twin turbocharged, double overhead cam, 4-valve per cylinder V6. Now this specific engine, as well as I know a couple other engines that Ford is kind of, I guess, advertising or whatever, it's kind of like a new trend with their trucks and their SUVs. This engine actually runs off flex fuel. Now flex fuel is basically just kind of like a marketing name for E85, I believe. So basically what that means is that this engine can run off both 91, 93 octane gas, like regular pump fuel or whatever, and I believe straight ethanol, like straight E85. I could be wrong. Maybe flex fuel is kind of like a mix between E85 and gas, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that this engine can run on both, so that is pretty cool. Now, I don't know if you guys can see him because I'm really trying to get him on camera, but on both sides of this engine, right where the exhaust manifold is, you can kind of see the two very tiny turbos that actually, power this car. Now, that's kind of, I guess, where the ecoboost name comes from. That's kind of another marketing thing that Ford does, which I think is kind of just stupid. I mean, I guess to regular consumers, it sounds cooler, I guess. But yeah, I mean, Ford's ecoboost kind of brand is pretty much any vehicle that they have. Could be a Mustang, could be an Explorer, could be an F-150. But it basically just means that that car has kind of like that factory turbo on it. So now this engine actually produces 282 brake horsepower at 6,250 RPMs and 253 foot-pounds of torque at 4,250 RPMs. So that's one kind of negative, I guess you can say, about this truck, is that it doesn't produce that much power at all. I mean, for being like a turbo 6-cylinder, I know it's definitely, tuned down from factory for fuel economy and stuff like that. But I have to say, I personally thought it would, at least produce a little bit more power. I'm definitely going to, kind of see how it pulls a little bit when I actually get in and I drive it. But yeah, just kind of looking at you know, those stock factory numbers now, that's definitely kind of like the first real, I guess, negative that I've kind of found with this truck. So when this engine is actually paired with the 6-speed shiftable automatic transmission that comes with this truck, it can actually get 17 miles per gallon during city driving and 23 miles per gallon during highway driving, for a combined average of 19 miles per gallon. So that being said, combine that with the 23-gallon fuel tank that this truck actually comes with from factory, it actually has an amazing range. I mean, you can pretty much run this truck on a few, you know, full tank of gas for 390 city miles and 530 highway miles. So basically, you're probably only going to fill it up like maybe every 2 weeks, unless you're like really driving it like a long distance, like every day. But yeah, I mean, besides that, like, that's numbers that you'd see similar to, you know, a commuter car, and it's in not this huge truck. It's not like a super like XXL like crazy like size truck, but it still is a truck. It's still a much larger vehicle. So that would kind of explain the lower power output that we're definitely seeing from this engine, because it's definitely detuned a lot to produce those very impressive you know, MPG numbers. All right, so now before I actually go into this truck's interior, I did just kind of want to show you guys a feature that I know is similar to Ford vehicles. Did you see that? See how it, like, it's got like this kind of like, I guess, automatic step or whatever you want to call it, like running board. And I don't know, I like, honestly, like, I don't trust that, because like, I mean, I'm sure it's fine. Like, I'm sure there's not really any malfunctions or any, you know, recalls or anything like that. But it just feels really weird to me, because again, like, if I close this door right here, give it a few seconds, and then it goes right back in. So, I mean, I don't know, like, whenever I'm stepping on it, like, it's super sturdy. Like, again, I'm sure it's completely fine, but like, I always feel like it's, because I've been in a Ford SUV that actually has the same, you know, kind of design, and I always felt like when getting in and out of that vehicle, I always felt like it would just like slide underneath the, you know, body of the car, and just like while you were stepping on it. So, I mean, I don't know, that's something that me, in my own personal opinion, I definitely don't like. But again, like I said, I'm sure it's completely fine. I don't think there's any recalls on them or anything like that. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of kind of like this automatic running board design. All right, so now I am actually sitting in the driver's seat of this truck, and I'm just gonna kind of start it for you guys so you guys can kind of see the display. And I mean, right here, one thing that I did find really cool with it is that you kind of have like your regular, you know, temp gauge and your, I guess, oil pressure gauge, but you also have the fuel, like, you know, your gas gauge, and it actually shows you the range. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it actually says 514 miles till empty, so that's pretty cool. And also it does have kind of like that, I guess you'd call that like a digital boost gauge as well. And it's kind of just right in front of your face. Again, it's tiny, and on screen, I'm sure it doesn't look as good as it does in person. But another thing, like, honestly, just like the regular trim of this car, like, I mean, you can kind of tell that this is like fake wood. Like, some of the stuff is definitely plastic, but I mean, all this like leather, like, this is kind of like this darkish red leather, and the seats are actually, and the armrest is actually kind of like the same type of leather. This feels like legit leather. Like, this feels real. And honestly, just sitting in this vehicle, I mean, I am going to tell you guys how it drives in a bit, but I'm really impressed with this interior. And it's like, it's really huge. Like, the seating in this truck is 5 people, and you can easily fit 5 people in this truck. All right, guys, so now I'm actually driving this F-150, and I did kind of drive it around a little bit in the parking lot before, you know, just starting the video right now. And I have to say, like, one thing that I definitely don't like about this vehicle, and it's not specific to this truck or anything, I'm not just trying to rip on this truck, but the like plus and like to go up a gear and to go down a gear, basically to shift this vehicle, the like kind of like plus and minus is on the side of the actual stick. And I know other vehicles have it, and I don't know. It doesn't really feel like that natural to me. I'd much rather have paddle shifters. Now, I know this is a truck. It's not, you know, sports car or anything like that. But if something's an automatic, first of all, I like manual vehicles much better. That's just my personal preference, just because I feel like I'm definitely in more control, and you're not kind of relying on whether it's a factory tune or whatever other tune that the automatic vehicle may be on, because that's pretty much the only thing that really controls, like, you know, the shift points of an automatic vehicle is how it's tuned. So yeah, if I was to drive an automatic vehicle, I would definitely, you know, prefer, I guess, paddle shifters rather than kind of changing gears on the side of the, you know, stick. Now, yes, I'm being very picky right now, but I mean, it doesn't matter that much. Like right now, I just have it in like the drive mode. I don't have it in the manual mode, and it handles fine. I mean, this is kind of what I expected, you know, it to handle like. It's a brand new vehicle. It's only a couple of years old, and I mean, unless there's some major problems from Ford, like, there shouldn't be anything wrong with this vehicle, you know. Right now, I can't really test it too much because there's a lot of curves, and again, I'm in a truck. I'm not in something that's meant to handle too well. So I am gonna kind of give it a little bit right here when it kind of straightens out. All right, cool. Yeah, it's not, again, it's not super impressive. It definitely jumps though. It definitely gets up and jumps. But the turbo gauge actually goes up to 20 psi, and it kind of peaked like at like 3/4 of the gauge. So I don't know if that's just because I was in a lower gear, and maybe it's only like 17, 16 psi in lower gears. But I would have to assume, since the gauge goes up to 20, that in, you know, some of the higher gears like 4, 5, 6, maybe it's just tuned to push 20 in those gears. Now, that being said, like, I definitely would not like push this truck too much because it's very wobbly. I'm sure you can kind of see me like moving around in the seat. Now, as far as the seat's concerned, like, the seat's very comfortable. It's comfort based. It's not really performance based at all. So don't expect to like whip this thing around a corner and to be, you know, completely like held in and locked in. You're gonna be moving around, but again, just for something that's like a daily, for something that, you know, if you have a business or whatever and you have this truck, like, I'm sure it works fantastic. It works great for, you know, what it's designed as. So now I'm gonna do another little quick pull. Yeah, it's one thing that I have to say, I mean, the turbo definitely kicks in. You can kind of hear the turbos a little bit, but I'd have to say that the transmission is it's not that responsive, honestly. I mean, again, it's all right, but I'm sure, like, it's super comfortable. It's super comfortable, but like, you floor it and it's probably like a good, it's weird because it downshifts one gear, and then it's like, oh, you really like want to go, and then it like downshifts again, and then kind of, I guess, brings you into like to the full power band. I don't know how to describe it. Again, that kind of makes no sense to you guys watching this video right now, but in person, like, it's just, I don't know, it feels like it downshifts twice. It's kind of weird. But I have to say though, I mean, I know I've kind of been ripping on it for like the past minute or so, but I'm really impressed with this truck. I mean, it's like, I'm really impressed, like, from like a luxury standpoint, because I'm sure it doesn't have like all the luxury features that are featured in, you know, some of these modern vehicles, but I have to say, just sitting in it and driving in it, it's really comfortable. I don't know if these windows are actually tinted from factory or if the owner got them tinted, but they look like factory tints, and it's just super comfortable in here, and it's extremely spacious as well. All right, so that being said, guys, I'm gonna just wrap up today's video. If you stuck to the end of this video, definitely be sure to hit a like on the video. It definitely helps out a lot. Be sure to subscribe to the channel as well if you kind of like my format of, you know, these vehicle reviews. And definitely, if you have this truck, or you're looking to buy this truck, or you just know about F-150s, definitely be sure to leave in the comments below what I did good and what I did wrong. I know most YouTubers don't say that, but definitely, you're not gonna offend me or anything. Definitely be sure to let me know what I did wrong, because I'm not, like, I'm sure I said it before, but I'm not really too into trucks, and I do kind of want to learn more about them. But yeah, I mean, that being said, definitely like, thanks for the support, guys, as always, and I'll see you guys in the next one.